Now, if you find yourself to not be spiritual or you don't really believe in spirituality, you might want to go ahead and just skip this video. Just go ahead and skip this video. I'll give you some time, okay? Okay. Now, if you're familiar with my content, you're usually hearing me speak from a logical perspective, not really so much spiritual and all of these things. However, for this particular topic, I just have to combine the two because, yeah. Now, there's a creator that's on here. Her at is Black Girl, and she was basically explaining how slavery was a contract. It was a spiritual contract that the white founding fathers of this country agreed to, a 400 plus contract that required the bodies of black and brown people in order or in exchange for privilege, power, and riches. Now, when I heard her say that, I immediately thought about how America became one of the biggest powers, right? In Western civilization, just overall, even surpassing nations that have been there before them. And America got up there in the rankings relatively fast. Relatively fast. So she was basically saying that the founding fathers, they agreed to this contract with some type of deity, right? For exchange of power, privilege, and riches, right? And in order to fulfill the contract, they needed to, one, violently remove the Native Americans from this country. They needed to import, right, the black bodies that they later were sacrificing, right? They also needed to commit heinous, violent acts to the enslaved. Like, these were all parts of a ritual type thing. And even though slavery ended, they continued to meet their quota through systemic racism, right? Think about it. It's through systemic racism where the destabilization of black communities, right? The war on drugs, police brutality, all of these things are allowed to happen where what happens? Black bodies are still being sacrificed. But the problem is that they're not meeting their quota anymore. They're not meeting the quota, okay? Which is why they have this whole slogan of Make America Great Again, AKA renew the contract. All right, so I'm just gonna give a little backstory, right? When I was in elementary school, probably at the end of elementary school, so probably fifth grade, if not going into junior high school, sixth grade, I was coming home from school and I was very upset. I was upset because as a Haitian American kid, there was a lot of other kids basically coming at me that day saying, oh, your country is poor and it's because they do voodoo. Oh, you guys do voodoo. That's why you guys have so much bad luck, X, Y, and Z. And I was just so frustrated. I went home, expressed my frustrations to my mother, and she's listening. And then at the end of it all, she was just like, why they don't talk about the voodoo that America does? They want to talk about Haiti. Why they don't talk about the voodoo that America does? When she said that, I was taken aback. I was like, what voodoo? Like, what voodoo does America do? And she was like, yeah, this country does voodoo a lot. We did voodoo for our freedom, but they do it for riches. They do it for power. And I didn't understand what she was saying. I honestly thought that maybe she just felt some type of way that these people were coming at her country. You understand? Like real nationalism type shit, like real strong black Haitian woman. Like, I'm not going to let nobody talk about my country. I thought that's what she was on. I thought that's the type of timing that she was on. But no, she was letting me know that everywhere, they do magic everywhere in the world. They want to demonize Haiti, but they do it too. They do it too, and it soon will be revealed. I remember her saying this. I promise you guys, I was in elementary school. So now hearing Black Girl basically state the same thing and saying that slavery itself was them fulfilling a contract with black magic, with dark magic, in order for them to have power, prestige, privilege, riches. And now they're scrambling because the contract is ending. It's ending. And unless they bring back those black bodies, they can't renew the contract. Everything that you see that they're doing right now, ethnically cleansing the country, trying to remove CRT in classrooms, replacing PBS Kids with PragerU, doing all of this stuff is so that they could try to get us back into a space where they could collect these black bodies again and renew the fucking contract. And as somebody who is spiritual, I kind of see that playing out. I really do. Again, I never understood how America got so far up in power the way that they did when they really didn't do much. Everything was built off of the labor of other countries, of other nations, of other racial groups. I always was trying to understand how These motherfuckers was sacrificing us. That's how. Now, if I see anybody in my comments talking about you're losing it, you're going crazy, this is why I told your ass to scroll before you started this video. I said if you are not spiritual or you don't believe in spirituality, to go ahead and scroll, because I don't need none of that. Thank you.